Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome back to Women's View on Ahlulbayt TV. If you're watching Women's View before the break, you would know we're speaking about Hajj experiences today. Like we said before the break, that many people did email us during the Hajj period saying, please do get one of the Hajjaj on after Hajj and to speak about the Hajj experience for those who haven't been, to get an insight of what Hajj is all about and what you experienced during your holy pilgrimage. Like I say in every show that this is a live call-in show, but unfortunately I'd like to remind you all that the phone lines are not working today. So if you would like to comment, or if you have any comments to say, or you would like to participate in our show today, then please do email us at womensview@ahlulbayt.tv. Or you can comment on our Facebook pages, Ahlulbayt TV, Women's View, or my own page, and inshallah we'll be checking that throughout the show, and we will endeavour to read out all the comments during today's show. If you have Twitter, you can also tweet us. So inshallah we'll try to get to your experience or your views, and inshallah get the guest views to get an overall of what Hajj is all about. I'm your host Zahra Al-Alawi, and today with me sister Ghadeer Zaini. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam rahmatullah.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Before the break we were speaking, we read a sister's comment out that was posted on Facebook, and she said how she found it difficult when she returned back from Hajj a couple of years ago to maintain the religious atmosphere or that spiritual high level. We were speaking about that before the break, and I just want to mention one point about that, because you know a lot of people do have that same query even in Muharram or in Ramadan, and now in this regards to Hajj. And I feel like sometimes it's what we surround ourselves with in our everyday life that will affect us. Like you said, to kind of you said that during these periods, like you came back from Umrah and you had Ramadan, then you came back from Hajj and you had Muharram to uplift yourself. But would you agree that sometimes it's the atmosphere that we surround ourselves with that kind of push us down to committing stuff which may decrease?
Definitely. There's this hadith by Imam Ali, I believe, and it talks about how with our souls sometimes we have iqbal or itbar towards religion, and basically with regards to iqbal, sometimes you feel, you know, you're in that mood to just be really religious and do a lot of extracurricular activities, and sometimes you're just not feeling it, you're just not bothered, and you'll open the Quran and you try to read, and it's just you don't have that connection. I remember, and I felt that myself, and I'm sure many of you have. I asked this question to a Sayyid in Hajj, and he gave me a response that I found quite interesting. He was saying that at times when we feel idbar is when you feel distant from religion, that to look upon what we're actually doing. Just go back, and you know how we have this thing whereby we're told to hasibu anfusakum qabla an tuhasibu, to basically sit there and think about what you do and be accountable for your own actions. At the end of the day, just think, what have I done in my day? The good things, the bad things, and to basically have tabs on us, keep tabs on ourselves. So think about what you've done. If you've been committing things that are haram, these usually then make you more distant from religion. And if you haven't been committing things that are haram, you might be performing actions which are makruh. Now these things are makruh for a reason. They're not haram, but what happens is they make that heaviness on your heart. Like they're just little things that we do in our everyday life, and we don't think about them, but they're actually makruh for a reason. And as I said, they make you feel a bit more distant from religion, and you then feel like you're not in the mood, or you're not bothered, or. And I asked, okay, so how does one overcome that? And it's firstly to try to, as I said, maintain that connection. If you let go, then shaitan gets really excited at that point, and he thrives upon opportunities of weakness and vulnerability. And basically as I said, to try to keep yourself, even if you're not in the mood, put the Aquamail on. Even if you're not in the mood to read it, put Quran in the background. Keep that connection. However little it is, just don't disconnect, because it becomes really hard to return. And also, there's something that I found even during Hajj. They repeated it numerous times, and it's to remember death. If you remember that at the end of the day we're all going to die, and if you, like in the Quran it says, "Irji'uni li'amal salihan," like give me that opportunity again. If you think, if I was to die right now, where would I be?
Yeah.
And then you think, you know what? I have this, I have that. Think about all the good things in your life and just go forth and try to connect again and again. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. Ask Ahlulbayt for help to regain that connection. And they are there and they are willing to help. Just ask for that strength and inshallah you will be able to better yourself.
Definitely, yeah. I think it's also identifying what is putting you down or putting your spirituality down. Sometimes in our everyday lives there are elements in our lives which does decrease our spirituality. And like you said, if we open just like Dua Kumail or surround ourselves with that religious atmosphere, it really can help. So I hope the sister's advice did help. Sister Maryam Al-Kazimi, I believe her name is. So thank you very much for commenting. Now going back to your Hajj, I mean, during your Hajj, while you were doing all these a'mal, how did you feel being there and performing your Hajj, and then how did you feel after you completed your Hajj?
Okay, because as I said, it was my first Hajj. I was quite anxious. I had this like feeling of anxiety because I didn't know what to expect, which is why when I was explaining the procedure before to those who have never been, it was probably quite overwhelming. And I was anxious to just get it right. I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I just wanted every single aspect of it to go right because once it's my first Hajj, just to be accepted, I want it to be, you know, to be perfect or try to like attain that. And so I was quite anxious throughout. And looking back, having completed my Hajj, I regret that. I wish I had taken more time to actually enjoy each part of it. And that's why I'm dying to go again so that I can experience it, but from a whole new, different perspective because I've been before, so I know what to expect. But during Hajj, I was quite anxious. Having completed Hajj, I remember when I finished it, and I remember I was just like, okay, what do I do next? What do I do next? And then suddenly it was like, okay, Hajj is over now. I remember from one side, I was really happy. I was overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, I'm a Hajjiyya, oh my God, you know. But from the other side, I was really sad because suddenly I was just going to miss it. Hajj, like, you know, in your life, sometimes you lack direction, you lack meaning, you lack aim. You go through your days and you're just thinking, okay, you have certain aims or whatever, but they're not very meaningful, or you just don't really know what you're doing with your life. When you go to Hajj, Hajj gives you meaning. It gives you an aim that's constructive. You feel like you're doing something and you're doing it for the right thing and you're doing it. You and millions of Muslims working together to do something that's actually good. And when it was, and it just, I don't know, it gave you that sense of belonging. And then suddenly it was taken away, like, and it was over, and everyone was just going to return back to their everyday lives. And it was a bit like, oh, it's finished, it's over. I was sad, but at the same time, I felt like I'd regained this newfound strength to be able to face life from a whole different approach and become, you know, hopefully a better person and improve myself.
Okay. Wow, mashallah. We're getting another email coming through now. Let me just read that out. It says, Assalamu alaikum sisters, I'm watching the show now all the way from Canada and really enjoying it. I had a question. We heard of the arrest of Osama al-Attar, and I wanted to ask the guests a question. Did you feel discriminated against for being a Shia while doing your Hajj? Did this affect your Hajj at all? And how did you feel when you went to the Baqi'? I would like to see if all people experience the same or if it's just individuals. Thank you very much, Mohammed from Canada. Now, it's probably a very sensitive topic to talk about, but I'm sure you've heard that during this Hajj, it was the arrest of Osama al-Attar, which did create a big commotion here as well, and a lot of people were speaking about it. But many people do come back and speak of tales of discrimination. I don't know if you felt that.
When people ask me, do you prefer Mecca or Medina, I usually say Mecca, and a lot of people, they get surprised because they have this connection to Medina. Medina for me, even in Umrah, I felt quite sad. I felt discriminated against. I mean, firstly as Shia, and then as being a woman is completely, like, you don't get to see you don't get to enter Baqi', you don't get to see the grave of the Prophet, you just Rawda is just this tiny thing for women, and I it really made it really upset me. So I just, I feel quite, it really hurts me. I remember when I was standing outside just the gate of Baqi and I have to see, and I'm doing ziyarah of the imams, and I just think, I compare it to the other imams that we have in the shrines and the beauty, like Imam al-Rada or Imam al-Hussein, and Al-Abbas, Hadrat al-Abbas alayhi salam, and the shrines and the beauty of them. And you compare that to what you see in Baqi, and it's heartbreaking because you think that during their lifetime, they went through so much, and even during their death, that this is what's happening. But you just think, alhamdulillah wa shukr, and may God give patience to the imam of our time for having to see this and witness this day in and day out. Again, as I told you, the shrine of the Prophet, the same thing. So in Medina, I felt that they're quite stern in Medina, and in Umrah, I felt it more, but I think because I knew what to expect this time around, I kind of I knew how to get around things. You kind of learn the tricks of how to get around things. But there is that element of discrimination. Like they don't let you sit down, for example, and read du'as together, like du'a tawassul or du'a qumay. They will cut you off, and they get very agitated by these kind of like gatherings. And so you just have to try your best to just make sure that you kind of avoid it and you do things a bit discreetly. In Mecca, I feel that it's a bit more like you can do things more, but like we read Al-Faraj openly. Like we were in Sa'i between Safa and Marwa, and I recall we were reading that to us. Now the group that I was with, it was quite a big group. It's a couple of hundred. So when we go in, we actually take over the place, and we're reading that tawassul, and it's like, because they have cameras everywhere, they came in and they cut off and they start to wash. And then we continue and they start to wash. I mean, how many times can you wash the same spot? But they kept doing that. But you have to just continue and not get frustrated by it and just maintain your akhlaq and just try your best to just deal with the situation. There is that element of discrimination, but we as Shia have to try our best to maintain like control over our temperament and to show what the akhlaq of Ahlulbayt are about. And try our best to basically avoid conflict. And at times it's very difficult to do that. Like for example, when you're just going next to the Kaaba and you want to just kiss the mustajar, which is a crack, like where the Imam Ali crack is and stuff like that, and they'll push you or they'll hurt you, even if you're a woman and a man will touch you because that's halal, it's okay. But because it's bid'ah, or it's different things like that, and it's quite agitating and frustrating, but you just have to keep your calm and continue. But yeah, there is that element of discrimination, but again, we have to control ourselves and try our best to not put fuel on things. You need to like maintain it so that we can continue doing what we do.
Obviously the Baqi is the most when you look at the site of Baqi, you see the state of the graves of the imams. You think, normal people have better graves than what they do, like little stone on it. And, in the heat of Arabia, there's nothing covering. But many people come back and they say that they are discriminated against. For the brother that emailed in, I'm not sure if you heard the news today, there was actually 3 Shias that were killed in Saudi Arabia, in Qatifa, by the police forces. So it was young people, 19-year-old brother, 24-year-old girl. So they were very young, and it's this whole view of Shia being discriminated. But that occurs in a lot of countries. So inshallah we see the reappearance of Imam Mahdi.
I just remembered, I do recommend for any Shias that go to Medina, there's something that will make you feel a lot better about the situation, and that's the Shia of Medina. I believe they're called the Nakhawla. I had the opportunity of meeting them during my Umrah trip. I remember, I think we went on the last day of our stay in Medina, and it made up for everything. It's like someone just put water on our heart. That was just like, I was so angry my stay in Medina because of how they treated us as Shia and as women in particular, that when I went to the Nakhawla, they were just so welcoming. They were lovely. And there were turbas everywhere, and that was really exciting. And I remember it felt like it was just this piece of heaven that was just there. And it was really, really nice. I do recommend going there. It will make you feel a lot better.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. People, they discriminate against Shia, but Imam Ali was born in the Kaaba. I think that's the element that they can't remove, especially when you said there's the crack that's on the Kaaba. It was Imam Ali that broke the idols from the Kaaba. So all these elements, I mean, they're always surrounding them. And I think even if they constantly try to discriminate against us, the element of the Ahlulbayt and the glorification of Ahlulbayt will always remain in Mecca, because after Imam Ali destroyed the idols, that's when Qibla changed towards Kaaba and everything. So inshallah we see a better future.
Inshallah. And in the difference between Umrah and Hajj, in Hajj they lift the black kiswa of the Kaaba, so you can actually see it quite clearly, the crack. In Umrah you kind of have to tuck your hand underneath and try to feel it, but so that was really exciting as well.
Oh, mashallah. Now going to the benefits of going to Hajj. I mean, I was telling you this during the break about my experiences of going to Arba'in and how I felt so much benefits and how it helped me personally. But what were the benefits that you felt from going to this holy pilgrimage?
Well, first of all, I did something that was wajib upon me, and alhamdulillah, I was able to finish that. I felt that it tested my patience and it taught me to become stronger as a person. It strengthened my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It reinforced my, it made me feel like I have, my iman, it helped strengthen that. It also, there is other benefits to Hajj. For example, I formed new relationships with people. I met people, and hopefully I can continue these relationships with them. Met really, really amazing people in Hajj. I think I would like to continue relationships with them throughout my life. It helped me, as I said, I mentioned earlier with regards to death. I believe that always remembering death helps you become a better person. And the scene in Arafah and everyone there, it kind of, I don't know, it's stuck in my head, and it reminds me of how maybe Judgment Day would be like, and it's just everyone standing there, and everyone's kind of focused on themselves and their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remembering death, it does help you become a better person. So I believe these are some of the benefits that I got from Hajj.
Definitely, yeah. I think, in everyone's life, they should definitely make these pilgrimages. Obviously, Hajj is wajib, and you feel like a strain off yourself when you do perform it. But even when going to Umrah and Arba'in and all these Hajj all these religious pilgrimage, I mean, I think they really do help someone in their life, and they feel like they're more connected to Islam, and it really strengthens an individual, the soul of an individual. Definitely.
It really does. I've, alhamdulillah wa shukr, I was blessed to have been to do ziyarah to Imam Hussein, and I've been to Samara, and I've been to Imam Rada. So I've been to the different imams, and each time I feel that's it helps strengthen me. It's like watering a plant. It really does. It revitalizes you, and it makes you really proud, and proud in a good way, not in a way that's negative. It makes you feel stronger. It makes you, as I said, it gives you that sense of belonging, and that's very important to have.
For all those who are wanting to go to Hajj next year, I mean, what would you say to them, those who would wish to go to Hajj?
Go. Definitely go. Hajj is amazing. I cannot tell you, and I cannot describe to you how amazing Hajj is. Hajj, it is really amazing. I am dying to go again. I believe that it's not something that you should delay. It's something that will help you in your everyday life. As I said, it will help you in many ways. I think that if a person really makes a niyyah and really asks from the heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah will grant you that. Don't be put off by what people say about how difficult Hajj is. It's not difficult. It's not as hard as it's made out to be. Hajj is not for people who are older. It's wajib upon anyone who has reached the age of bulugh. And you should definitely go to Hajj if you have the physical and financial capability. Just prepare yourself and go, and you will you will experience this amazing feeling. It is life-changing, not in the sense that, you know, everything's going to change when you come back and it's really scary. No, it's life-changing because you have this whole new perspective of how you look at life, and you deal with it with a different approach. And basically, and when you do make your prayers, please pray for me that I get the opportunity to go back again, because I would love to go.
Inshallah. And pray for us also. Pray for all of us. We've got another email coming through, so let me read that out. It says, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Zahra and Sister Ghadeer. Great show, really enjoying it. I have a question, but I know this may make a lot of people laugh, but read it anyway. Okay, I don't know what the question is, but I'm laughing already. It says, I'm a very shallow person. In real life, I always wear makeup every day, even when my friends see me. Yes, I know it's haram, but I do. But I hear when you go to Hajj that you're not allowed to wear makeup, you're not allowed to wear perfume, and you're not allowed to even look in the mirror. Now, I know I'm a very shallow person, so how will I be able to cope in such a situation? That's the only thing that really worries me, especially when it's people who see me every day back home. How will they be able to see me like that? Please do advise on the advice you've given me. And I know this may seem like a joke, but it's really serious. Thank you very much. And please do not read my name out. So I won't read your name out. But, okay. It's something I haven't heard before, but okay.
Don't worry about it, sister. I think, I don't know from the girls, anyone who didn't struggle with the whole don't look into the mirror thing. I think majority of us, if we walk past a window or mirror, we check ourselves out. and that's, I don't know, we're just used to it. Maybe we're all shallow, or maybe we're all vain, but it's something that we do. It is, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's not difficult not to look into a mirror, or it's not difficult not to be a bit conscious of how you look like. When I go, I mean, just before I make the niyyah for ihram, I think, okay, let me just look into the mirror one last time and fix what there is. I mean, you're wearing very simple clothing. It's not very attractive, and that's the whole point. But you just, because everybody else is in the same situation, everybody else is going through it, you kind of like, you give up on how you look like, and you don't worry about it. And with regards to perfume, I'm perfume obsessed, but that's the whole thing. Remember when I mentioned earlier that you let go of the whole materialistic world and you focus on the whole other side, the spiritual element of things, and your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's you let go, and you know what? Letting go of that, after a while, it actually feels very satisfying. But you know, it's not about how you look like, or it's just about that, the internal element of things. Sometimes you just feel like a piece of meat, like this thing that has to look good and has to whatever. And it's nice to look at the other side of things. Remember I said that you look at life from a different approach. This is exactly what it is. And it's not that long. It's like 2 days where you can't look into the mirror. Then you come out the state of ihram. The only thing left is perfume, so you can look at yourself in the mirror. And it's not that difficult. With regards to makeup, it is haram. And inshallah, maybe that could be, you know, your aim could be to maybe lessen the use of makeup, or to basically find this new confidence within you to maybe, you know, work on that. But it is difficult, but it's not as difficult as it seems. And because everyone's doing it together, it's not that bad.
Definitely, yeah. I have a few points to say on that as well. I never knew that this would be actually a issue for someone, but clearly it seems it is. But great advice, and I just want to add a few points onto that. But we are off for a quick break, so inshallah join us after the break for the last 20 minutes of today's show. We will carry on answering sisters' comments, but thank you for emailing, and wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.